Journalism, newspapers in particular, have a very soft spot in my heart. My dad, until quite recently, worked at the Calgary Sun/Herald. He worked there for 24 years. It was always a lot of fun going to visit him at work, see the newsroom, see how everything works. It was really interesting. It's kind of what got me into this. Recently, right before he lost his job, he took me on a tour of the Calgary Herald building, the building they've been in since like 1970 something, I'm not sure. But the building is massive. It was just like incredible to see all of the stuff, and they have different newspapers from years past, like when World War II ended, the headline was "Japs go down, World War II over," and that wouldn't fly nowadays. We went into the old press room where they had the big printing presses. It's all empty now, and there's nothing left in there. It's kind of sad to see that because they outsourced all their printing. It's just a big empty warehouse kind of room. So here I am trying to talk about the benefits of journalism, and I've just made you all sad. So, it's easy to dismiss print journalism in a digital world. In the age of YouTube, Facebook, and important news like important news in 140 characters or less, it's easy to see print as our grandparents' news source. Nothing could be further from the truth. I believe the appetite for journalism produced by newsrooms has never been more ravenous. Circulation of newspapers is on the decline. They're all struggling with the loss of ad revenue due to the lower circulation. We've all read stories of the industry struggles, but despite the shrinking distribution, nearly every major daily newspaper in the country, world, I think there are more eyes on the work of these journalists than there have been ever before. How many of you have picked up a newspaper in the last week? Yeah, that seems about right. According to a 2016 Vividata report, the national industry for measure of readership of print products, they found 8 out of 10 Canadians had read a newspaper in the last, a typical week. The interesting finding was that more than half of those were online, the online versions of those newspapers. So if the majority is reading online, why is print still important? I want you to look at print journalism through a different lens. Print doesn't apply to the ink on pulp product we've known for all of our lives anymore. It's the journalism that comes out of those previously only newspaper kind of newsrooms. Newspaper newsrooms generally have the largest number of journalists working under one roof. This allows them to assign beats, such as instead of generalists covering everything from lotto numbers to murder trials, you have certain reporters working certain things, such as court beats or City Hall, education, the environment, all that jazz. Newspapers carry centuries-old brands that are trusted. That trust is not treated lightly. Stories for print are multi-sourced. They generally dig deeper than other mediums. A lot of what they do is exclusive. Now that doesn't stop the morning news from doing what's called a rip and read of the morning paper, and they'll just kind of take stories from that and they credit it, but a lot of even our online TV news it comes from newspapers still. You need that source because newspapers are, Newspapers remain the primary change agent when it comes to government. An unflattering story on the radio or an ugly tweet never carries the same sting as a unfavorable news article. Ask any politician. Newspapers and their digital offerings, more than any other medium, affect change. The real value of print is measured in its ability to shine a light on injustice, political greed, and corporate corruption. As a Chicago journalist, Finley Peter Dunn wrote more than 100 years ago, "The job of a newspaper is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable." Print journalism is doing that just fine in the digital age. Thank you.